Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Prokon Geek, and in today's video we're going to continue detailing the foundation that we started designing, how to design a double story building video series. So please, let's not waste too much time. Let's just get right into the video. But please remember, if this is your first time, please just go up to the channel, click on the subscribe button right there. I cannot because I have not signed in yet, and then just go up and start binging on the series that says how to design a double story building, because this is where all of it started from. And yesterday we uploaded a video where we detailed the first of the foundations for the building, which is in the video titled how to design a double story building series, detailing the isolated foundations using Prokon. So that was the first video that we did. And the video that I am doing right now is the second video where we're going to finish off detailing all these other bases, where we already had the line work. We did the first base and now we're going to continue for the other bases. So yes, let's not waste too much time. Let's just get right onto the video and get started with type 2 and with the first step. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do for detailing all the foundation that we designed is to zoom to type 2 700 by 700 by 250 depth base. So where this came from is easy. I just went to the folder where we designed our foundations, in this case double story, then to the folder with the bases, and then to the design. So in this case, yesterday we did base 1 with column 1. Today we're doing base 2 with column 2. So all you have to do is click on it, then have it start, comes to your screen. Let me close 1. That was a double action. So in this case, so you see the 700 came from base A, base B, then 0.3, then 0.23 for the columns. Now the stub height is 1.5, but the reason why I say to 0.2, I'll show you later why. Then later off, what we need is go to the design, then the bending schedule. In this case, we just need to note the amount of steel that is required in the X and the amount of steel required in the Y. So in this case, 347 square millimeters per meter is needed in the X, and 516 is needed in the Y. So to remember which one is the X and which one is the Y, remember the bar that spans from left to right is the one that is in the X, and the bar that spans from the top to the bottom of the screen is the one that is in the Y. So let's check what configuration we can use. Just open up the Excel, rebar and spacing tables. Let's wait for it to start up. Alright, so the first thing that we need to understand is we need 347 square millimeters per meter in the X. So we're going to go to the second, this one, we're going to say 347. Let me make sure it is 347. 347, the minimum bar that I can use in the foundation is a Y10. So in this case, I can use Y10 at a spacing of, because we want to make sure that it's uniform. Oh, last time I think we used 12s. What did we do? I think I might have switched it up as well. I used 12s at 150, 12s at 150, so that is nice. So let's see, let's stick to 12s in this case. So in this case, we're going to go 347. Let's go to the 12s. What is the best combination I can use when it comes to 12s? I can use Y12s at 300. That's a good combination. And let's see, in the Y, we need 516. So let's put 516 there. If we put 516, the best combination is Y12s at a spacing of 200. So we're going to go with Y12s at a spacing of 200 in either direction, so as to make sure that the contractor is not confused by the orientation in the case that you're not there, or even just to make sure that these are some of the detailing practices that you want to use, so that even when you're not there, or even when you're not on site, when you're not looking, or even when you forget which orientation is Y or X, you are safe in the case. So in this case, we're going to stick with this one. We're going to detail for Y12s at a spacing of 200. So let's begin. Okay, so to kick start it off, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our bars for the plan view. So in the plan view, what we're going to do is, let me just LY, put a construction line, then LX to put a construction line. And what I'm going to do is go to rebar, or just RB, right? RB. My shape code comes up. In this case, I need 12, so Y12s, right? The bar mark, the last bar mark that we used was 3, so because 3 for the main bars and then L01 for the links. So we're going to go with shape bar mark 4. Then the cover that we're going to use is going to be 50 throughout, so just 50 throughout, reduce with cover. Then we're going to go with the shape code 38 bar, so I think everything is nice. Snap to that. Then we're going to start in the X, so let's just span to there. Then for these legs, don't worry about it, we will change it. And then EI, let's change the bar. this needs to be, let me just check what it needs to be from the previous bars. So EI needs to be 150. So right, that's okay. So EI, then this needs to be 150. This needs to be 150. This needs to be 150. All right. So that is good to go. And we click OK. Then the next thing that we need to do is put the other bar. So RB, in this case, the bar mark is now 5. That is okay. We just recover. It's still a Y12. So we're just going to go this case. And in this case, just snap to that point. Snap anywhere you want. It's not really a choice. Then EI, change the bar. Just 150 again. All right. Then 150. That's okay. So if you see this bar looks funny, it's different from the other bar that we snapped. So the problem here, what you have to do is say EI, then you go to Y sign. In this case, somehow it managed to come out as 0. So what you want to do is make sure it's -1. Click OK. And there your bar has been produced nicely as well. Then if you want to mirror it, all you have to do is just BA. Let's BA. Then B5 to mirror it. Then choose your mirror line. Click over there. Click over there. Then instead of typing C, type M so that it is moved. There you go. Then B4 to move the bar. Then move it to this position and you're good to go. Then the next thing that you want to do is zone this bar. So how are we going to zone the bars? It's going to be easy. Just put another horizontal line there. Then LY over this point. That is okay with me. Then R3. We're going to zone this bar first. So click there, start of the zone, end of the zone, text position. I'm going to put it there. Then the spacing, I'm going to say it's going to be, what is it again? It's 200. It's going to be 200 in the first bottom layer. So that's 200 B1. So 200 B1, click OK. Then we'll reduce recover. There you go. There you have your text. What we can do is just B4 to move the text, move it there. Then the arrow as well, you can just B to select everything, then just move it, because what I wanted was it to come there. Then B4 to move the text to this position. B4 again, let's just move it there. Then B4, move it to this point. And let me see what size. Let's get the size from this text. So TG from this point, TG, then select the text, and TS to set the size. So it's the same size, so I think it's okay. But if I want to change it to a smaller size, it's 2.1. Let's put it at 2. All right, I think 2 is a bit better when you're dealing with a 700, so that is okay. So that is okay. We have a nice size. As you can see, we have zone. So it's telling us that we need 4 Y12s, bar mark 4 at a spacing of 200, which is okay with me. Now let's zone the other bar. Let's zone the other bar. But in this case, the text might conflict. So what we can do is let's just B4 to move it a bit to this point. All right, that's okay. Now let's zone the other bar. Zone it. Start of the zone, end of the zone, text position. I'm going to put it at this point. Then this is 200 B2, not T2. So just select yes. And there you go. So I told you the text might conflict, but just move it a bit to this point. The text is still conflicting. Okay, so what we can do is let's move this text. Let's move this text to this position. And the arrows is still conflicting as well. So let's just BB, select everything there. Then B4. Because now it's a matter of presentation. So what we're going to do is we can even snap to this point. It's not a problem. Then let's move this text upwards. Okay, that would not be too good. I think at this point it's okay. Then what we're going to say is TG, then TS to set our text. And there we go. We look good. So it's telling us 4 Y12s, bar mark 5 in this position, then 4 Y12s, bar mark 1. Let's just verify if 4 Y12s are okay. So what we're going to do is just say Y12 at a spacing of 400. Alright. No, not 400. It's actually 200. Sorry about that. Say 200. That's alright. Then in this case as well, at a spacing of 200. And there you go, you see you are satisfying the conditions in all directions. So for the plan view, we have covered for that. The next thing that we need to do is look at the elevation view. Okay, next thing we need to look at the elevation view. But first thing that we need, let's go to our bending schedule. And all you have to do is just press Ctrl-I to insert a line above so that there's a demarcation between the steel that is needed for type 1 bases. And remember, you need 3 of this. You have 3 of these, right? Were they 3? Let's check. Yes, you have 3. And then this is going to be type 2 now. So type type in type 2, and then how many do you have? You have 5, so put in 5 there, and you're good. So you see it automatically increments to 5 by 4, which is 20. Now the next thing that we need to do is put the elevation still for section CC. In this case, it's still going to be 4y16. So 4y16s, I think I did a check for them, but I think, let me see the column starters. We must have designed the column starters as well for these things. So base is no double story building. Let's go to columns, starter columns. Let's see column 2. If we needed y12s, or we needed in this case it was saying y16, so it's good we're using y16s. So we need y16s. What you're gonna do for this point, you are going to, so there's going to be an 800 lap since it's a y16. So let's just see if that lap exists. So what you're going to do is ly, then lx. Let's just verify if this is 800, then d vertical from, okay, lx again to this point, then dv, get to this point, get to this point, get to this point. 797. I might have snapped to something that is not, yes, I snapped to the wrong positions, but 797 is almost 3 from 800. So let me do it properly. 790. Oh, I'm snapping. Yes, I put my line to the wrong position. I was supposed to snap to this point. So what we do is, let's remove this and dv, and to that point, as you can see, that is 800. So that is okay. Let's move the section lines upwards. So b4. There we go. So we need, so this is the area where we need our starter columns, or our column starters. So what we're going to do is, let's place our bars. So what I'm going to do is ly, let me place a bar there. Then I'm going to say rb. In this case, I now need bar mark 6. It's going to be a 16 this time around, and I need 37. Right, let me escape just to cancel that command for some reason. But I don't need to do that. Let me just rb, because I can edit the length of my leg anyway. So you see, it goes back to 6 because I had not placed the bar. So just 37, then the first handle of my bar, which is the hooked length. Let me just snap to this point. Then I'm going to go to this point and indicate handle 3. I'm just going to put it anywhere where I want. Now the first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to say BA to select the bar. Then I'm going to say B4, BH. Actually, it's BH. Grab it from this point. Then B4 to move it to this point. Then the next thing is B4 to move it from this point to this point where you have the cover head. So this is where this line or this portion is going to be the cover, the bottom cover of your base. So your bars will start off from this point. Next thing, I need to make sure that it is extending all the way to where the lap is. So to extend it, just rebar, extend the bar, select the bar, then take it there. So the length has been automatically edited as well. Then the next thing is EI. Let's make sure the length of the leg is, if it's a 16, let's go to my MathCAD sheets. What does the leg need to be? So double story building, MathCAD sheets, shape code 37 and 38, ankle leg length. Let's just wait for it. Okay, as it is starting up, what we need to do is, as this is starting up, let's go back to Prokon. All right, it's up. So the next thing that we need to do, let's maximize this view. Then in this case, let's see if it's a 16 millimeter diameter bar, it needs to be 192. All right, if it is less than 20 millimeters. All right, so it's less than 20 millimeters, so it needs to be 192. So it's going to be 192, then 192. The length is automatically calculated for us, and everything else is good, so we're good to go. Then the next thing that you need to do is put ly this point, then lp to offset it by 30 because the cover to the columns is 30. Then b4, move the bar from this point, snap there, then move it this point. Then the next thing that you need to do is ly, then offset this line by 400 by 150 because the columns are 300s. Then I want you to mirror the bar, so ba, then b5, then mirror the bar. There you go. So the bars have, what you have done is you've successfully put the elevation bars, and remember you're going to put the decoration bars there. So the next thing that you want to do is R1, indicate the bars. So R1, text position, I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to say 4 bars because you only need 4 bars. Remove B2 and then place it like this. And as you can see, they have automatically been added to the bending schedule. Then the next thing that you want to do is copy the circle, then B3 to this point as well to indicate it's going for these two bars. Then the next thing, once you've put the elevation bar, the next thing that we need to do is put the section or the link. So let's do that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is, after we're done with the elevation, let's go to the section. Now the section is going to be a link, so all you have to do is RB. Then this time it's going to be an 8. The link is an 8, remember. And the bar mark is now, it's L02 because it's linked to reduce with cover. The cover is now 30. So you have to be mindful of that. And then it's still white. You can put it as an R type. And now we're going to shapecode 60. So shapecode 60, chop, chop. And there you go, your bar has been added. Now the next thing we need to do is make sure it shows up on the bending schedule. So I'm going to remove auto. I'm going to come and then deselect auto mode. Then I'm going to BA, select the bar. Then I'm going to B3, copy the bar. I'm going to copy it from there. Then I'm going to copy it to this point to the elevation view. Alright, then the next thing is EI. Change it from -1 to 0. Press OK. B4, move it to this point. Then B4. Move it downwards. Alright, let's bring auto back on, then B4. Let's move it like this. I think we're good to go. Now let's zone it. So what we need to do is R3, select the bar, select the start of the zone, select the end of the zone. Remember the spacing, it's 12 by 1 by 16, that's 192, and we're going with 190. We discussed this in the previous video. So it's going to be text position. I need to highlight the text position. I'm sorry about that. Text position, I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to say 190 links. Alright. And reduce with cover. Yes, please reduce with cover. So there your text is there. Let's just move the text to this position. Then move it again outside. So we're going to put it there. And what we're going to do is let's move the arrows all the sides of the text. Let's move it like this. Then B4. Move it to this position. Tell me this is the better way of detailing. If you see most drawings, this is what they will have. So L, then point it to this line, then trim it. Then there you go. So your links are showing. So you're going to have 5 R8s. Bar mark L02 space the 190 for your links. So B4. So this is going to be B4. Just to move it downwards a bit. And there you go. You have detailed the second type of base that you have. So this everything is going to be multiplied by 5, and it's automatically been added to your bending schedule, so you're good to go. The next thing that you definitely need to do is we now need to do type 3, so let's do that right away. Okay, so to do type 3, what you need to do is go back to the folder, go back to MathCAD Sheets, double story building, go back to the bases. It's just, okay, I should have opened everything up. So we're going to go to base 3 with column 3. But I think everything is going to be the same. It's 0.7.7. The depth we designed at 1.5, but that is not practical. We're choosing 250. So we're going to go with that. So let's go to design, bending schedule. Then there's still that we require. We're going to use 415 because we are using the worst case possible. In this case, 415. And Y12s at a spacing of 250 is okay. So the minimum bar, remember, is what? Is a 10, and the 12 is okay. So we're going to use 12s at 250. So in both directions, by the way. Save us time, and also to safeguard against any scrupulous contractors who do not know what they're doing. So the first thing that we do is E6, remove every construction line. LY, then LX. There we go, and then the first bar is in the Y, so remember that. The next thing we could do is RB. And this time around, we need bar mark 7. And it's definitely going to be an 8, 12. White type of steel. The cover is going to be 50. Alright, then let's grab this as well. So 50 and 50. Then grab 38 and then place your bar. Then don't worry about the leg. You can always edit that. So we discovered if it's a 12, we need to... If it's a 12, it's 150. Yeah, I remember. I'm forgetting things that I did in the previous. Alright, so it's 150, everything is okay. Right, let's just B4 to move it down a bit. Let's move it to this position. Then the next thing is RB. We need to place bar mark 8. This time around, we still shapecode 38. So what we're going to do is snap to this point, snap anywhere, then edit the legs manually. This is going to be 150 and 150. This is much faster than, you know, trying to snap, create a different offset line and do all those funny things. I think you know them all, what we did in the first video. So let's just put it back where it was so that you are able to see clearly. Then R3, this time around, let's see, how did we zone them previously? Alright, so this is what I'm going to do to presentation. Let's see if this presentation works much better than the previous one. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. So R3, grab this bar, start the zone there, say the text will be there, then 200 B1, make sure there's space, and yeah, reduce recover. So 4, yeah, this works, B4. Alright, so the text is gonna be somewhere there, B4. Alright, I don't see any problems there. What we can do is B4 actually, let's move this a little bit inwards, then B4 move the text downwards a bit like this. Alright, that looks good to me. Then B4, let's move this bar a bit lower like this. And yes, let's see how we can detail. Next thing that we're going to do is R3 to detail the other bar, which is this bar. Then the start of the zone, end of the zone. Then text position, I'm going to put it somewhere down so that we have it in the bottom. And this is going to be B2, so B2. Reduce with cover. Alright, so if you see that sometimes your text is being crowded inside, you can put it outside, then B4. Grab it out, B4 again, let's grab it, then create a line like this. Alright, this will work better. So I think let me put my text outside. Let me just put my text outside. In this case, let me put my text at this position, then B4. This position, then B4. Right, then LL. That does look good. Or what we can do is, let me just B4, let me move it. Let me bring it to the bottom. Right, then BA, select the text and block. Let me rotate it about this point at 90 degrees. Let me remove this, then B4. Let me move it up. B4. Alright, and B4. Let me just do this, and then let me create a line like this. Alright, so that requires me to move it a bit further, and then LL. So this is it. Instead of crowding our text inside, let's delete the top. We are now putting our text outside, and our details look amazing. They look better than before. So this is much better. This is definitely much better. So this is what we're going to do as well for the other one. So to do that now, since we have placed the text for the plan, it is showed up, then Control I just to make sure that we demarcate that is type 3 at the bending schedule. Alright, and make sure type 3 we have 2. So in this case, make sure you put 2. And that's okay. Next, let's detail the elevation and the section. Now, as you already know, detailing the elevation is quite easy. So what we're going to do is just a Y. Right, what else do I need? Just rebar, then go to which bar do I need again? Sorry about that. Zoom limit, zoom A, zoom extent, ZA. So let's go to RB. In this case, we need a 16 bar, and it's definitely bar mark 9. Y type is still, the cover is still 50, that's okay. So 37, grab a 37. So I think, sorry about that. The first thing that I want to do is let me just LX, let me put a line there, then LP it by 50. This will be helpful. Alright, LP to the wrong direction. Let's do it like this. And the next thing that I want us to do is, let me do this. Now let's say rebar, bar. This case still bar mark 9. Let's snap to this point. Let's snap to the point that is 50 above, and then let's just snap to this point. Alright, so what we're gonna do is now B4. Right, wait, LY, then LP by 30. Alright, so we are in the good position, so we are good to go. This is the best position. Let me remove the other lines, and let's check the length of this leg. Length of this leg is supposed to be 194, which is actually 195, so that is okay. Then what we need to do is, it's protruding to the cover, so let's just B4 to move it up to top. Okay, and then RX to extend this downwards. And in this case, we're good to go. Then LY, then LP by 150, then B mirror, BA first, then B mirror, which is B5, then mirror it from this position to this, and then it's good to go. We just copy it. Then R1 indicated text position, we need 4 of these bars, so it's going to be 4. Remove the B2 and that's okay, and then copy, let's just move it up a bit, so B4, then we copy the circle, then B3, then go to this position. You get to go. This is how fast you should be when you detail. So we've just put the bars for the elevation. Now let's put the section bar, so that's going to be RB, and this time it's an 8, it's R type, then the cover is 30 and 30 and 30, then select this point and chop, there you go, right? And did I put the correct bar mark? Oh, I put the wrong bar mark. This is supposed to be L03, so you can always edit that as well. After EI, so BA to select it, then B3. Let me turn off auto. So let me copy it from there to this position. Alright, so let me turn back auto on, then EI, then -1 to 0, and then we're good to go. Then B4 to move it down, right? B4 again to move it slightly there, then R3 to zone it from this point to this zone, text position. I'm going to put it, okay, let me just put it in the middle. Then the spacing is going to be 190, and there will be links. Let's reduce with cover, that's okay. I don't know why it gave me 4Y. Are you sure it's... Sure it is 180, because it might not have. So Control Z, we always replace this line, so don't worry about it. So let's just say LX. Alright, let's remove everything. E6 LX, then LP by 800 to the top. And right, let's move. We are at the wrong position, so B4. Alright, then R3. Next thing is LY. R3. Zone this bar from this point to this point, text position anywhere you want, 190, but they're going to be links, not B2, so that's okay. And reduce with cover, so replace existing lines, so we're good to go. Then B4, but I think this one's going to actually be in the middle. There's no need to like take them outside, so hey, you don't really lose anything, man, so that's okay. Next thing that you want to do is, we didn't put the decorative bars last time, so just put rebar, then go to dot. These are going to be 16 diameter bars, so click OK, then put 1 2 3 4, right, and put 1 2 3 and 4. Right, you know, I already know it's going to be 4 as well, so I'm just going to put, don't kill me. Right, so yeah, we're good to go. And we also didn't put the decorative bars for the elevation, so in this case we need 4 bars. So what we're gonna do is, let's RT again. Actually, we didn't copy this bar, so let's BA, and then let's remove auto, then B3, copy from that position, paste this position. Right, that looks good to me. So now you see the reason why I put the covers to be 250 the bases, because I knew it wouldn't work at 200. So same thing applies. We're gonna B3, copy from this position to this position. I might actually need to increase the depth of the base, because 250 there seems to be, I need to increase the cover as well. So these are the things you can actually increase when you're detailing. And just trust me, when you increase the depth of your base, you are actually making your foundation much more safe. So don't worry about that. Alright, so now we have detailed type 3, we now need to detail type 4. Okay, so to detail type 4, what you need to do, we have detailed this, we'll fix the nitty-gritties at the end. We just want to place the bars as quickly as possible first. So designs, go to base 4 with column 4, and let's check. We're okay. We're gonna go to the banding schedule. What's still 247, man? 247. You gotta be kidding me. 247. So we need 247. So we can even go with, we can even go with 12s at 400. Let me check 12 is at 400. No, that's not a good, it's not a good combination for us. It's not a good combination for us. So in this case, I am inclined to go with 10s. If I use 10s, because it's a 700 base, right? Let me use the minimum bar for this one. In this case, I am going to, because we will need more still for the columns. Even if it says 2 bars, you just need to increase. It's better to have 2 10s than to have 1 12. Trust me. So in this case, we're going to go with what is not. We don't want an overkill. So it's 247. We don't want an overkill. Let's go with 314. So y10s at a spacing of 250. That is what we're going to go with. So those are some of the things you need to be thinking when you're detailing these things. That's why it's different when you're doing with a machine and when you are now thinking. So ly, then lx, right? So in this case, let me see, we need to put a bar. So we L3, all right. So next thing we're gonna do is RB. I'm clicking in the wrong position. Let me click this point RB. In this case, I need bar mark. No, we need bar mark 10. Then we need it to be 10. Why still? And I'm gonna go with shape with 38. Then the cover, you can just put 50 at the top. I know I was putting 50 at the top, but you can just put 50 at the top. And it will automatically change everything else. Okay, so we need to restart. That something went wrong because we didn't put the bar. We need to restart. Right, let me just 30. It's a 38 y10 bar mark 10. Grab a 38. Grab a 38. Like you got a 38 in lock. Yeah, let me just put auto. Alright, so we definitely need to change this up. The y sign is 0, so -1. Alright, it's okay. We can actually move it to the top. Let's move it to this position. The orientation is not too much of a problem. Then RB, let's put bar mark 11 this time around. This point, then this point, then this point, then EI. Since it's a 10, I swear it's 120. Let's go to MathCAD. Let's change this to 12. Oh, it's 12D now, so it's 145. So what we're going to do is EI. Then we're going to change this to 145, 600, that's okay. Then EI this again, that's 145, 600, that's okay. Then B4, just to make sure that these bars are clear. Alright, so what we're going to do is let's zone them. R3 from this point to this point. And text position, I'm going to put it outside. Then we said it's going to be 250. So 250B1. 250B1. Yes, reduce with cover. Move the text to this point. Then B4 to move it upwards. Then what we're going to do is let's put a line to indicate it's the text for this guy. Or what you can do is B4. Let me put it like this. Let me see. Yeah, you can do it like this, and then you can put a line to this point, and then right, that looks good. Then B4, and you put it like this. You're good to go. So it shows this bar, 4 y10s from this point to this point. Let's zone the other bar, so it's going to be R3. Zone start to zone end, text position. I want it to be somewhere there. 250 B2, not T2. Reduce with cover. Then we just need to move the text as well. So B4, let's move the text to this position. Then B4, let's move it to this position. Alright, so B4, let's move it to this position. Then put L. Then there we go. So our bars have been detailed nicely. Alright, I think we're good to go. Then Control I. How many of these do we have? We have 5. So you want to put type 4. Then you want to put 5. And Control S to save. Next thing, let's put our elevation bars. Okay, now we need to detail the elevation and the section. Alright, this is pretty easy. Y. Then let's make sure LX. LP this by 800 to make sure it is at the correct position. Alright, so B, then B4, Oh yes, and you might ask me the reason why you didn't check if it was Y16. Oh, trust me, it is definitely Y16. I checked that before. If you want, let's go columns, starter columns, column 4. We go column 4. That is like the least case, man. It's 16. Told you. So we go back. Always check this before you start detailing. Don't just detail from nowhere. Right, so B4 to right, we didn't select everything there. B4, just move this a bit up, and now let's RB. We need a 16 bar. Bar mark is 12, that's okay. Reduce with cover now, this is 30. This is definitely 30. Then select the 37, snap from this point. We will play around with it, so don't worry about it. Then EI, make sure the leg is 195. All right. So the leg is 195. Then this is 30, so B4, move it out from this point to this point. Then let's make sure it is at the correct position, B4. All right, in this case, RX, this position, now you're good to go. Then BA. Right, wait before we BA, LY, LP by 150, then BA. All right, it's still BA, then B5. This mirror. All right, that is good. Then R1 to indicate the bar. In this case, we need 4 of these. Sorry about that. R1 takes position. We need 4 of these. Then remove that B2, and that is good to go. Then copy the circle, then B3, then put it there, and let's go. Let's go. Then you go up. Okay, it's okay. Then the next thing is let's put the link. So this is going to be L04. It's going to be an 8. R type, reduce with cover, shape with 60, snap to that point, snap to that point. This is definitely okay. Then B3 to copy it, remove auto. Now just drag it to this position. That is okay. Put auto back on, then EI. Then make sure it's from -1 to 0. Right, then B4, move it a bit. Selected the wrong thing, so B4, move it a bit. Then R3, zone start, zone end, takes position anyway. Then it's definitely going to be 190 links. Yes, reduce with cover, then move the text. Alright, so you're good to go. Anything left? Alright, that's how you detail it quickly. The next thing we need to do is look at the nitty-gritties and see if everything is in order.